it doesn't know age demographic. It doesn't know politics. It doesn't know race. It knows nothing.
No.
Everybody feels something different, and we have people in 21-year-olds in short pants and flip-flops next to guys in suits or people in tiki fedoras, and everybody has something to say, and everybody learns from each other, and our employees love it here too. They just love the excitement of the people that come in. That's probably any tiki bar.
Actually, not really. I mean, that's the thing that I'm realizing too. It's like you could have a great built tiki bar, but if the soul isn't there, the people that are behind it care about tiki, it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna need a napkin. Because I agree with you. It's true.
Here, you can. I've been wiping my brow with. No, don't. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tiki with Ray. My name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I'm in Walnut Creek, California, which is kind of east of the Bay Area, or is this still part of the Bay Area?
We are Far East Bay.
Far East Bay.
I just called it that. I created that name for this interview.
And this is Darrin, and you are and you are the owners of Tiki Tom's?
I'm one of the owners. It's a family restaurant. My brother and I started this, but our families are involved. My daughter Stephanie is our GM, and other family members come here and do what's necessary. We'll do everything: cook, clean, bus.
And more importantly, you love tiki.
More than you know.
Yeah.
Lifelong obsession.
Well, here's the thing. I do know, because it's like, I saw pictures of Tiki Tom for like the last couple of months, and your bar is one of those places where it's like, I saw the pictures of it, I'm like, oh my god, I have to go there. I had some friends of mine that actually are from here originally, and they moved up to my area. I live in Seattle, Washington, and they moved up to where I'm from, and then they were telling me about your place, and they were saying like, you got to go check out Tiki Tom's. The place used to be more like a tiki bar in name, but they revitalized it. They got bamboo band, and now the place looks great. I'm like, oh, really? And then I saw pictures of it. I'm like, yeah, I need to go there. I need to go there and check it out. And I tell you what, Darrin, as soon as I walk through the door, I'm like, yes, this is it. This is perfect. This is what I love in a tiki bar. You have everything going on. But let's back up. What did Tiki Tom's used to be like?
So Tiki Tom's, when we came into it, we always knew this is what our vision was for it, but the timing was always off and the economy was wrong in it, and we just kind of became a really good dive bar. And there's always good places for dive bars and a necessity for them, but it wasn't really tiki. So we knew in our hearts that we wanted to create this, and it was more of a karaoke, shots and beer and shot bar, and it was one of the best dive bars in the area.
How did you do this whole revamp? Because I've seen pictures of what Tiki Tom's used to be like, and this is unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. This is, like I said, we've been planning for well over a decade to do this. And
a decade.
Most of the ideas were set in place, and someday one day we'll do this. And we've actually tried to upgrade it here and there, but the crowd we had just didn't appreciate it. We had a mixologist from New York come in and create an entire Mai Tai menu. 6 different Mai Tais, all high-end. We were having our orgeat handmade, and nobody wanted it. They just didn't want it. And so we realized that we're not going to be able to create this with our current crowd. Yeah. So when it happened, when the closures came, we didn't waste any time. That night we were tearing things out, and we had tried to get Bamboo Ben a few years earlier, and he was just booked up.
Yeah, well, back then it was like 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah, 3 weeks. You got 3 weeks. So Rick and I, who's my brother, we came in here that night and started working, and we were here for 120 days straight. I mean, every day from sunup until 3 in the morning. We'd go home 3 hours and come back. And even at that rate, we were 3 or 4 weeks in, maybe more, and going, wow, we haven't made a dent. And so that's when I reached out to Bamboo Ben. And this guy's not going to even answer. And I literally picked up, hey, how you doing? I go, Ben, Darrin from Tiki Tom's. Yeah, I remember you. What's going on? Hey, we need you, bro. He's like, well, lucky for you, I just had a cancellation for COVID. And within a few weeks, he was here. And before him, an order of bamboo showed up. It was stacked up to the ceilings, and we had no idea what to really expect.
That's what I was going to ask you. It's sort of like when bamboo came in, how did you say it to him? Did you have an idea, or are you just like, Ben, we trust you?
I'd been sending him drawings and sketches and ideas, so we kind of knew
so what were some of your inspirations? What were you thinking?
So the whole area, the bar over here is the way the bamboo sits. I got inspired from a place that I love in Denver called Adrift, and they have a little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of an extension of what I love about that place. But we actually have pillars that are supporting, so it made sense for us to take the bamboo overhang and use it to the pillars. And as I sent the ideas to Ben in pictures, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good." But what I learned about him is everything for him is almost on the spot, off the cuff. You know, how about this? He'd go, "Oh, that's great." And he'd do something else. But a lot of the things in here happened while I wasn't even in the area. He'd send me off to Home Depot. I'd come back and he had built something. I go, "This is my favorite thing." Every time, this is my favorite thing. And even we have an area in the back we call the captain's quarters, and we're all standing around. And what are we going to do here? And Ben goes, "Get me a boat." So, get your boat. Rick, can we get a boat? So Rick made a few phone calls, and the guy knows the guy, says, "Hey, no, there's a boat. I've seen it. It's underwater out in the Delta." So we took the pickup and we pulled it out of the water.
Get me a boat.
Yeah, we bought it here and we flipped it upside down and hung it up there, and it's like one of our favorite spots. And it was just like at that moment, get me a boat. But everything in here, and that's the way Ben works. It's like inspiration at the moment, and when you have ideas, and there's this kind of togetherness of everybody's idea and all these different concepts, and it was magical. It was probably for me one of the funnest parts of ever being a bar owner. And I've had other bars and designed and everything, but there was something about all the people involved, and we have other friends that are woodworkers who did our booths and technical guys that did all the cool things and the lighting. Everybody was into it, and everybody felt it. And there was this core of people that were like, yeah, let's do that. And it's changing all the time. We're always adding and changing things, but it's a giant art project. It's a piece of art.
What I love about your bar though is that it's classic tiki. Like, it's a classic tiki bar. It's what I think of when I think of a tiki bar. There's no windows. It's all right here. I love that you have tikis lining the bar, that you actually have tikis. The room feels... There's some tiki bars I've gone to where they just kind of feel disjointed. You know, where it's kind of like... But this feels like... Well, the crazy thing is, like, this feels like this is how this place always was. Like, I couldn't imagine this place any other way.
You know, it's funny you say that, because when I first walked in the first time, Rick brought me here, and I walked in and I said, there's something about this building that, as it sits, where it's located, the way the bar is.
Even the facade. I like the facade of the building, like that brick that's out front.
That was there.
I love that.
It had this natural charisma, and I've had other places where I tried to create that, and you can't. It's just there or it isn't. And this building, even before we did all this, had this really nice charisma about it. People were drawn to it. It's almost like that, kind of like that Cheers thing. It's your spot in your local bar. And so when we turned it into this, the transition was so natural, and it enhanced the charisma that it had already. And it's just, like I said, people come in the door and they feel it. Sometimes they don't know what they feel, but they do feel the charm of it. And the fun part is watching people walk in. That's how we like to be here. People walk in, or either from the old Tiki Toms or never being here, and they just look around and go, what is this? What am I feeling? And then we get to teach them what it is.
I was going to ask. The new Tiki Tom opens up. There's a lot of people here that know the old Tiki Tom. What was the people's reaction to it?
We thought it was going to be a lot worse, honestly. And I was telling Rick, I'm scared that people are going to come in here and just start tearing stuff down.
Oh,
you know. And in the beginning, we got a big influx of the older clientele that expected karaoke and shots and PBRs. But I'll tell you, they came in, they're like, wow, this is really cool. Yeah. This is awesome. And guys used to come in here, hardcore drinkers and shot slammers come in here, and they have a little cocktail with an umbrella in it, and they have their drink, and they chat. Then they go down the street and shoot pool.
As soon as I came in this afternoon.
It's been a long day.
I met your brother.
Yeah.
And I could tell, like, he's enthusiastic about this place. He's excited to show off this bar. You know, even before where you thought it was full of hot air. And then you're like, you got to meet my brother Darrin. you know, like you're like I love tiki, but like my brother really loves tiki. I'm like, okay, and I'm talking to you. We've been talking the entire time. I'm like, hell yeah, this guy's into tiki. He's been talking my ear off about tiki the entire time I've been here. And the cool thing is, it's like even like when we talk about the build out, even the drink menu is spot on. Like I'm drinking a zombie while I'm working my way down. It's legit. All the drinks I've had so far are legit. I had a drink that numbed my mouth. Well, next time I go to the dentist, I'm just going to chew on one of those little things. Hey, I don't need no Novocaine shots from me. Just give me this.
So what we're trying to do is
get people drunk.
We're trying.
That's what you're trying to do.
No, we were working our menu out. We were only a few weeks from opening, and we didn't have our menu done yet. And I remember Ben was here. We are doing some final things, and I'm going, Ben, I'm really worried. I want this menu to be amazing. And he said, just focus on the classics and do them right.
I completely agree.
And then the rest will fall into place.
I completely agree.
We went with that, and we made a few phone calls to the folks who know, and it led us to Tim Rita, who's out of Vegas. And we connected with this guy. Yeah. It's like he's a brother. He created that entire. We gave him menu names for our originals, but we said we want to really focus on the classics. And so he was as true to the classics as they could be. And we went even further to actually give credit to the creators and the year and where they worked when they created them for that, and then created our own on the side. But that's a big part of Tiki. So when you say this feels like a classic Tiki bar, it was important to us to, because we don't have a Tiki community in the Far East yet. Oakland does, San Francisco does, but we don't. And so, and Ben also said...
Well, here's the... I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's sort of like... I mean, I live in Seattle, and I drove down here. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get into San Francisco proper. Yeah. It is, and parking is impossible. Coming here was no problem at all. I'm parked right there. I'm parked right outside the door. For you. But the point is, it was actually very, very easy to get here. Yeah. And if I come back, of course I'm going to come back. But I'll be honest. I'm just being honest. It's like I'd rather just come here than try to work my way into like downtown San Francisco. Yeah. And I love. I mean, and the thing is, like, this is great. I mean, this is when I think of a tiki bar, this is it.
Well, we wanted to touch all aspects of what Tiki basically is. So we tried to do things where if you don't know anything about Tiki and you come to Tiki Tom's, you'll get the gist of what Tiki is, from the beginnings of it to where it's going to where it kind of is. And that way, sometimes you go into a bar and it's really over the top, and people are put off a little bit because they don't get the... And well, now we have so many adventure bars too that aren't really Tiki.
Yeah.
They're amazing, but they're not really Tiki. So there's this confusion. Is this Tiki? Is this beach? Is this... Someone called it psychedelic Tiki. Have you heard that term yet?
Okay.
There's some new places they call it.
It's a Tiki bar that's all black lights. I don't know.
And a lot of effects and things going on, which is part of Tiki also.
Sure.
So we tried to make it without any effects or anything to feel like you're in a old school, classic Tiki bar.
That's what I like. I mean, for me, as I've said this before, I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. For me, Tiki bars are time machines for me. I love the old school Tiki bars because for me, like when I go into like an older Tiki bar that's been around forever, it's like, oh my God, I can imagine like this is what this would have felt like in like the 60s or whenever the place was built. And here's the thing. I mean, I've seen how the sausage is made here. I know that this bar has been built recently, but goddamn, man, if I would have walked in here and you'd been like, oh yeah, this bar's been like this
30 years
for
20 years,
I'd have been like, well, there's not enough dust and dirt and grime on everything, but like, okay.
Well, I'll tell you, every Monday we're closed, and that's when we come in. And we detail, we change things, we're always adding things, and we have a lot of clients who bring in special things we put up, and it makes it ownership in it. But I can walk in here any day and know immediately if something's out of tune. Lights are off, the music's too loud, something's wrong, because every part of it was designed to feel just like it does. And when you come back again with some friends, you can be sure that they're going to get the same experience that you got 6 months ago. And maybe enhanced, but a lot of restaurants and bars open up with a bang and all this amazing ambiance, but then it slips because the people who create it aren't there to keep the environment and the experience to that level. So we're very careful, and we're increasing it and improving on our food menu and our drink menu constantly. It makes it fun for us too.
Everyone, seriously. I mean, honestly, I've never even heard of Walnut Grove. No disrespect to the Bay Area.
Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek. Well, there you go. That's just saying. I can't even. I didn't even know the name of it.
There's a Walnut Grove.
Where's the Walnut Grove at?
It's towards Sacramento on the.
Well, maybe Walnut Grove might get a tiki bar sometime. I swear, Darrin, it's like I saw the pictures, and I was impressed by the pictures. The pictures do not do this place justice.
Oh man, that's so good. Thank you so much, man.
I'm so glad I came, and I'll be back. Thank you.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
My extreme
Tiki
pleasure.
Tom's and Walnut Creek. We're trying to create an experience here where everyone.
Do we have a script? This is getting out of hand. The zombies, the Ben zombie kicking in. No, but really,
I told you it was as soon when I got to about here, I'm like, all right, time for me to get my stuff.
I need to get another one now.